So for the bra cups that we are making today, what we'll be needing is any weight for yarn. I'm going to be using this Big Twist Value yarn in the color teal. We will also be needing a size 4mm crochet hook, and then you'll need a stitch marker of some sort. I will be using a bobby pin, and then you'll also need just a pair of scissors. So to get started, what we're gonna do is make our slip knot as usual. Once we have our slip knot, your foundation chain is gonna be dependent on the size cup that you're making. So if you're making a small, you'll want to chain not 11, I'm sorry. Small is 11, medium is going to be 15, and a large is going to be 20. Any size above that, you'll just want to keep adding 5 for every size that you increase. I'll be making a small, so I'm going to go ahead and chain 11. Once you have your foundation chain, what you'll be doing is single crocheting in the second chain from the hook, and you'll be single crocheting your way down the chain that you just created. Now once you get to your last chain here, or your last stitch, I'm sorry, of your chain, we have our single crochets here. What we'll do is tighten our tail, chain 1, flip our work. With this project, we're always going to skip that first stitch there, and then we're going to single crochet in the second. So anytime you're starting a new row, remember to always skip that first stitch, and then you're going to go ahead and single crochet your way back up. The reason that we skip that first stitch is so that we can ensure that the bottom of the cup will stay straight and it won't start to curve or be crooked. Once you get to the end of your row here, what you're going to do is place your single crochet in that last stitch of the row. So you'll place one single crochet, you're going to place another single crochet in that same stitch. So there should now be 2 single crochets in that stitch. You're going to take your stitch marker and place it in that second single crochet that you just created, and then you're going to place 1 more single crochet in that same stitch. So there should be 3 in total with your stitch marker in the second. And then instead of chaining 1 and flipping our work, we're going to go ahead and just work down this side of our chain instead. So no flipping, just go ahead and keep single crocheting your way down in each, with putting a single crochet in each stitch all the way down to your tail end. Once you reach your tail end, you'll want to make sure that you do put a single crochet in that very last stitch of the row. Don't skip it. That'll also help to ensure that the bottom does remain straight for our cup. Now that we're at the end of the row, we're going to chain 1, flip our work, and since this is the start of a new row, remember we are going to skip that first stitch and single crochet starting in the second stitch, and then you're going to single crochet your way up just like you were doing previously. Once we reach our bobby pin or our stitch marker, we're going to remove it, place a single crochet in that stitch that we just removed the bobby pin from, place another single crochet in that same stitch, take our bobby pins and again place it in the second single crochet that we're putting in that stitch, and then like before, place 1 more single crochet in that same stitch for a total of 3, and then go ahead and continue down with your single crochets. Those 3 stitches are going to help us to create the point of our cup. Once you reach the bottom of this row, you will want to make sure that you do put a single crochet in that last stitch, don't forget. And then we are going to chain 1, flip our work, skip the first stitch, go into the second, and we're going to just keep repeating this same pattern of putting a single crochet in each stitch, putting 3 single crochets where the bobby pin is or the stitch marker is, removing and placing it in the second stitch, or the second single crochet, I'm sorry, of the 3 that we are putting in that same stitch. And then we will continue our way down, chain 1, skip the first single crochet, the first stitch, place your second single crochet in the second stitch, and keep going around and around like so until you reach the desired coverage that you are wanting for your cups. To give you guys an example, I do around 15 rows, and that gives me the desired coverage that I am looking for when I create my cups. So that's how many rows I do in total. So just go ahead and keep doing these rows like we have seen. And I would recommend that once you do reach the coverage amount that you're wanting, just take note of the amount of rows that you're doing. That way you can write that down somewhere so that when you go to make your second cup, you can make sure that it is symmetrical to this first one that you are making. So I'll go ahead and keep doing this for my cup as well. And then we'll meet back once we're done with the cup. And I'll just show you guys how I do my finishing touches for my cups. And then we will be all done. So I have my finished project, or my finished cup should I say, here. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and create a border of single crochets around our work just to clean it up a little bit. So once you get to the bottom of the row that your last row, go ahead and chain 1 again, but this time we're going to go ahead and work along the bottom of our cup. So just put a single crochet in each stitch along the bottom like so. And then once we get to the end of this bottom row, what we're going to do is put a single crochet in that last stitch of the row. We'll chain 1, and then we'll put another single crochet in that same last stitch of the row. That'll give us our corner, and then we'll go ahead and single crochet our way up. Once you get to the stitch that has your stitch marker in it, you can remove the stitch marker and put your single crochet in it, and then I would recommend putting the stitch marker back in. That way when you go to create your neck straps for your project, whatever it is that you're making, you can make sure that you do put your neck strap in the middle of the cup, so you know exactly what stitch it is that you have to go in to create that neck strap chain. You don't have to do that obviously, but I do recommend it just so that everything can stay even. And then you're just going to single crochet your way down the cup now. And then the last thing that we will want to do is chain 1, and then you're going to slip stitch into that first chain of the bottom row. So where you essentially put your first single crochet when we first started going around, you'll go ahead and slip stitch into that same chain just so that it's all even. Then you'll cut off your work, tie it off, and then we will have to go ahead and weave in this end. So just weave it into your project, and then once you have that weaved in, you are completed with your cup. So I'll take this off just so you guys can see the completed cup. And then all you have to do is create the same thing for the other side of your project. But that's how you create a cup, guys. That's all there is to it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.